welcome back to Eternal Sonata. So, before going after Crescendo and Serenade, let's track a bit and follow the pirate papers we got from defeating Dolce in Baroque.
Wait, hold on. We're supposed to go after Serenade and Crescendo?
Yes, remember that's what they carried something. They're throwing themselves into a suicide. And yes, hold on.
What is that noise?
Yeah, as soon as you arrive, get close to that teleport stone, it does that noise. It's jarring. Anyway, I'm saving you a bit this, the backtrack. Basically, the Pirate Papers 3, tell you a code. Rather than being a more straightforward, or like giving you a clue, they tell more like a code. Patron-driven Java, basically it works more like a King's Quest type of puzzle, in a sense that it gives you letters that correspond to numbers. You're supposed to interpret the riddle and get the number corresponding to the letter. It's a classic point-and-click kind of like puzzle. I think I'm gonna select them in a second, but yeah, in the Woodblock Grows, you can find this instrument in the level. It's not completely in plain sight, but it's still there. Anyway, let me read the papers. Cicada cry C C C C, blow in the wind B B B B. An empty heart goes A A A A. The trumpet drills D D D D. So obviously, in terms of alphabet, it's simple enough. It's 3 2 1 4.
Cute.
There you go. That's what you need to do. And what does he do? He drops a treasure script.
Whoa!
Thing.
Lucky it didn't land on your heads.
Is this the pirate treasure?
Wouldn't that have been an interesting chat?
All right! We finally found it! Hurry up, Redo. Let's open it up.
Alright, I'm going. Wow!
Joke.
What?
And it's you, Shiro. Sorry, Shiro. Basically, it's Dolce again, for a rematch.
Here come the monsters!
Okay. They're not monsters. It's right out of my mouth.
We're just lucky our pack of fools. Now that treasure is ours.
You do know it's a fool's errand.
To be fair, actually, surprisingly, no. There is an actual treasure, but hold on. Pedro, please Shiro temporarily.
Well, now we have the treasure. Well, it's up to teach you not to wrecking my ship and making you look like a fool.
T-Rockets having...
Oh!
Yeah, remember, that's what happened to the pirates, I guess.
Why didn't we commandeer the ship? Take it under our own!
Anyway, basically, this is being the last match against Dolce being in New Game Plus.
Oh!
She basically has a couple of new attacks and she's more powerful than before. She's still not a severe menace if you arrive at this point of the game, but she still poses a somewhat decent challenge, and like most of the late game bosses, she's an incredible sponge.
So this is it? The end? Huh.
Don't worry, she doesn't drop dead, but I will still say that the conclusion to her side quest is not that incredible.
Oh well. Well, at least I found a good idea on how to contribute to a current meme with her.
Dolce.
What? No, don't you. What if we put the super crown on Captain Hook?
Oh god.
I mean, she has a hook, so here we go. By the way, that meme is never gonna die, thanks to the Odyssey artwork now. Fan conventions. Hey, there's even a competition at Newgrounds, a fan art competition, where you can get a free Nintendo Switch if you win.
There you go. One of the treasures that you get is basically Salsa's ultimate weapon.
She actually has a downed animation? Why didn't they ever use that before?
Actually, not in combat, not on the screen.
Well, it would be easy to translate that into combat, and even still, we never see her down like that before.
Alright.
Anyway, there you go. Dolce basically just gives
I'll give you that stupid treasure.
Yeah, she gives her the treasure.
Oh, you can materialize that.
Bye.
Would have been a great time for you to be a party member.
It looks like I'm
pretty persistent, wasn't she?
It looks like I'm blasting off again.
It's Ours! We finally got the real treasure. Way to go, Allegretto. Now hurry up.
All right. Calm down, Salsa.
Now, this in New Game Plus, this is where you get the 7-star. Basically, you have the Greto's ultimate weapon, but since I already have to the save file, I already have it.
So,
much later,
the ultimate
ordinary
treasure,
got
and we
tired of
can't
waiting,
even collect
and they had
it.
to hire a new
Now I need to give a small apology because basically due to my recording capture fucking up at some point while I was in the middle of the Tukola ruins, I had to cut away the entire dungeon, but let me tell you, it's completely pointless. There's no boss fight, no cutscene or dialogue in between. It's a complete pointless dungeon, and this goes to show that I could cut it away and nothing in the story gets loose.
Wait,
I
hold on.
It was
apologize
just a
wa-
scenic route.
I apologize
Olga,
once
my
more to the
dear,
people who
I knew
who
you would be
wanted a
coming
more
sooner or
gameplay-driven run, but this in this
How
case
do you
was
know
more of
my
an
name?
incidental circumstance.
It's
Wait.
certainly
Anyway,
been a
important
long
stuff.
time,
Hold on,
hasn't
I'll
it?
tell more later,
Can't
Joe.
quite remember how many years has it been since
This
last
person
I
looks a
saw
bit
you.
familiar.
Let me guess, she's Polka from the future, which means she's
No.
actually gonna
Feels
live
like
long
it
and
could have been
prosper.
only yesterday.
Apparently,
But I
she
suppose
knows
it also
these
could have
people
been
as well.
hundreds of
Again,
years ago.
she's gotta be one of them from the future.
You know
Otherwise, this is just a game bringing in a new
No, I
mystical
don't.
element which
I'm
we've
sorry,
never heard
have we
about.
met somewhere
And
before?
again, time
Don't
travel
worry,
would be just
Jova,
as
like I
weird.
mentioned, the game
Not
has already
somewhere,
started for
my
sure.
dear. We've
Shadowing,
met before
its plot
right
twist.
here in this
I
very
guess.
place. Because you're the only person who can draw a fortune here.
That's
Oh,
it. How much is this
basically
character actually gonna
Japanese
matter
stuff.
in the grand
Basically
scheme of
get-
things?
Here.
Sorry,
But
Jova, can you repeat
This
that?
is the
How
first
is
time
much
I've
is
ever
this
been
character
to this
actually gonna
place.
matter in the grand scheme of things?
For this
Excuse me,
particular
ma'am.
cutscene and the
But
end.
how is it that you know about me?
My dear, I'm
Wait,
afraid
is it
you
her
wouldn't
mother?
understand even if I explained
The
it to
best
you.
way to cough out.
And even if you
Brilliant.
knew everything,
I'm not going to explain anything because you wouldn't
cannot
understand anyway.
change
That
fate
sounds
now.
exactly what a time traveler would say.
I
What, is
see
it her
you
mother
arrived
from the
here right
future?
on
She has a
schedule.
similar hairdo.
I mean, you might not be
Suppose
able to
you must
understand
not
it, but
have
maybe
encountered
someone else
any
would.
particular
Nah, I'm not
trouble
gonna
this
explain it
time.
anyway.
Oh my.
However, she's noticed someone that shouldn't be here.
Well, now what have we here? I never expected
Alright,
to
because
see
this may or may
you
not be in his
here.
head, even though we kind of already know
ma'am?
this is in his
You
head.
mind explaining
Allegretto
what you're
is
doing here in
incredibly
the first place?
confused.
I mean, don't tell me that waiting here for Polka to show up is all you ever do.
First, Polka is going to
She
draw
doesn't
a
even answer
fortune
that.
of bad luck.
No,
Wait, you actually know what fortune she's gonna draw before she does it?
It's a simple magic trick,
Yes,
Sonny.
I know very well. You see, my job is to witness whether or not she ties that fortune to the sacred tree.
the one
Please
behind.
tell me that is not just specifically for
sacred
one
tree?
person, in which case your job is then done
The
after
tree
this.
standing right behind
Hold
this
on.
fortune-telling hut.
Looks very dead as a
Its
tree.
real name is the cello tree.
Get it? Because music.
Has stood on this land for thousands and
Nothing about this
thousands of
screams
years.
cello, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's nice
For the
that you apply
tree,
musical
it's as
terms
if
here and there,
time
but
is
there are
always
some
standing
blatant ones that
still,
if you're
for
gonna
it
apply
never
those blatant
grows
terms,
any
then
taller,
have them
but
visually
neither
It's a
represent
tree
that.
that doesn't stand the test of time.
And that is why the people who live in this land
What
Wait,
other
wait, wait,
people?
wait.
You're
There's other
basically the
people?
only one in here.
Yeah, we had to get for a dungeon to get
they
here.
think it blessed because it
Also,
doesn't age.
Did Crescendo and Serenade actually
Serenade
pass
are
through
still
here?
up ahead, yeah.
Go ahead.
Basically, the
Draw
party is
your
stopping
fortune.
here just to listen to her instead of gaining ground.
You will know
Let's
soon
see.
enough whether
There
what I
was
have
that
told you
prince
is
and
the
princess who we
truth
kind of
or
needed to
not.
help, but I'm sure we can waste a lot of time while they go ahead.
Idiots.
What do you think? Are
Not
you
just
gonna
that.
do it?
Again, you
This whole
couldn't.
thing is
Couldn't you
kinda
have this
weird.
this exposition be after the whatever?
Or
I'll
before.
do it. I'll draw one. There's no way she could know
Look,
what I'm
I'm
gonna
sure
draw
that this is
before
going to
I
be
do it.
important to the
That
plot or
doesn't make
whatnot.
any sense.
But again, think about this from the characters.
It's a problem of pacing, more like of plot itself.
Not only that, but
No
okay,
one knows
usually
what
an
they're gonna
excuse
get
some
before
people
they
use is
draw.
like, hey,
That's
this
why
is
people
realistic
can
from
have
the character's
hope for the
perspective.
future.
Well, let's think about this from the character's perspective. Imagine you are in the middle of what could very well lead to what is the equivalent of World War whatever for your entire land. because your nation, or whatever nation's prince and princess, who you very well are in the capacity of helping, want to try and sacrifice themselves thinking that it will help save the world from confrontation. It is your
Not
mission
only-
to stop them. You go for, as Tears described, an entire dungeon.
Excellent.
Then you stop by
Now
this
then,
one
my
random
dear,
friendly person.
I'll explain also a bit more later
And if
why
it
I
is indeed a
think
bad
it became a
fortune,
problem
tie
here
it
in
to
terms of
one of
development,
the
but let me
branches
also
of the
say
tree.
this. So far, aside from Fugue's katana and some fantasy elements,
Doing
the
so
architecture and
will
stuff
drive away the
that
bad luck.
this world has offered is fairly similar to what Chopin would have dreamt, like traditional European architecture. Now I don't know where we get something that's
settled.
clearly Japanese inspired,
as
drawing a
for-
fortune complete
There
with the
is
thing
no need
and
for
tie it up
you
to the
to
tree
draw a
like one of
fortune,
those
is
sigils
there?
that repress
I should
evil.
think not,
But
for
apparently,
your destiny
anyway,
lies
apparently
in a
for
place
this,
that
apparently
is
she
far
feels
beyond
as
our
if
reach.
Ferric should assist the scene.
Even so, I am fairly
You know, I think
certain
another thing I
that we
don't like
must
about
have
the scene
you
is that
see
it's
this part
so
through to the very
slow,
end.
too.
It's the pauses, Jova.
Go
It
with
fucking
her.
pauses.
Not just that, but the way the
Again,
characters are moving in this
everything
scene
that
feels way
following her
slower
will
than
somehow
other scenes.
decide
Maybe
my
it's because,
fate.
you know, again, time is of
Weren't
the
you
essence, but
listening to me?
no.
No one of this world
And okay,
could
look, okay,
possibly know what your
I am
destiny
well aware that
holds.
JRPGs do the whole, oh, the evil villain will wait in his
Alright.
castle of darkness for us to come. But here's the thing. Normally,
Come on,
those
let's
are
all
in
go.
story side moments when you do this
You
sort of
may
side
not.
stuff. Here, as far as the story is going, the
What?
character should
Why
be
not?
hurrying. There is
Because
no
the
reason
rest
for
of
them
you are
to
different.
stop for
You
this.
exist within the boundaries
Yeah.
of destiny.
So apparently the rest of the party cannot go
Boundaries
in.
of destiny.
Why are we even
Those
indulging
who
this woman
exist
this
within
much?
the boundaries are not permitted to ever
Well, there's
see
nothing
its
else to
form.
do here.
Gee, it's
You're
not
saying
like
that
we
he and
have
Polka are
someone
different from
to
us?
stop.
That
Notice
is
also
correct.
Allegretto is still not calling Frederick by name.
Yeah, well, I'm not buying it.
Thank you.
to go too.
Dear me, how utterly pointless.
You're as
The
pompous.
tagline of this cutscene.
You are as pompous as Dante from the Full Metal Alchemist anime, lady.
Oh, Frederick.
The old woman told me I should see this through to the end.
You know,
Oh, she did?
I wouldn't even be complaining
All
this
right,
much.
then.
All they
I'm
had
gonna
to do
open it.
was just put this. Hey, you know what? This could have been the excursion
What's
that we
this?
went on, you know, while waiting for Crescendo and Serenade instead of the Frost
But it-
Temple, whatever.
It's just
That's the
blank.
thing, though. We kind of need the part. But ooh, look at that! Instead of being just a bad fortune, is
And
a
all of the
blank one.
fortunes tied to the tree
Get
are
it?
bad.
Because the
And there
future is
apparently
not
are
living.
countless. Yeah, apparently there are
Could a blank
countless
one mean
bad
what I think it
fortunes
does?
tied around the tree already.
That this world really is just my...
This is it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that
This
supposed
is
to be a
what I
big
can do
twist?
to help the
Because we were
world.
kind of already hinted
matter
that.
what.
it
Well,
was
no,
his
we're
will.
going to
There's
get
no
to more
escaping it.
for the end. For the end.
Alright. I'll address
What's
more
wrong?
about this after this cutscene, which is.
Oh man, you opened it up already? Well, what did it say?
Also,
What is this, a joke? It's blank.
I'm idiot.
Wow.
so what is it?
Sure
Because
are a lot
Allegretto came
more
that
up
it's
there.
blank? Because I messed up.
No,
Thanks.
Allegretto,
And all the
like
fortunes are bad
the
luck.
fortune
Hey,
teller said,
do you think that's
Allegretto
why that
means
old lady
nothing
said
to
she knew
this,
what was
to the
gonna
great scheme of
happen?
things. So his presence
Anyway,
is irrelevant no
it
matter
looks like she
what
was
he
totally
does or
wrong when
says.
she
So
said that
why
thing about you
insist
being
that he
the only
doesn't
person who
come
can draw
then?
a fortune here.
Because it's pointless, like she said.
Allegretto.
Then just let him
I'm
come.
not so
Don't even
sure.
debate it.
What's the matter? Aw, come on, don't take it so seriously.
I
Come
don't-
on, Jova,
I
don't
guess
take the
picking a
game
blank
so
fortune
seriously.
is kinda
Again,
weird.
look, here's the problem. The
Face it,
game
it's way
obviously
better than
wants
getting
us
a
to
bad
care
luck
because
one.
of, you know, the whole dilemma. And because, you know, considering the fact
Are
that
you
Let's
sure
head back and
about
talk
that?
to that old
here's the
lady
thing.
again.
When we
We can
were
tell her
set
her
out to
intuition
find
was
them, the story was
100%
treating it
wrong.
like it's the worst thing possible, which it was, because, again, everyone pretty much
He's
knows
right.
how much a
This
bad
isn't a
idea
bad
this is,
luck
except for
fortune,
those two.
not
That's
yet.
why we're going to
Frederick,
stop them.
I think I should try having faith in
Anyway,
this fortune.
Polka is interpreting
Things will be
the fact
different
that
from
she's a
now
blank
on.
fortune for the
I
fact
know
that,
that.
just like
I
you may
won't resort to
imagine,
that until the last
the
possible
future for
moment.
her instead is for her to decide instead of being pre-written.
Basically, anything can change. Ether!
So it's all up to me.
I see a
Do
vision!
something to change this world. Something to save Polka. But how?
So basically, we've
What am I
concluded that
supposed
this
to
is
do?
definitely his world now. At least he seems
Maybe,
to.
or maybe there's something more. And that's it, we can go now.
See, here's the.
Oh.
Okay. Can something like this make a wish come true? Weren't you supposed to be the skeptic? Well, if it can, then I wish Polka Jeez, what am I doing? This is stupid. Let's get going. Oh, apparently the
The
writers
skeptics are all the same in these stories.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing, Java. Think also like how we got here through a teleport. I'm honestly thinking there's an entire section that was cut away, and the progression instead was more linear, like more like a traditional dungeon town sort of thing. But since it's we're almost actually close to the end of the game.
Really?
So basically, it's like 1 or 2 dungeons, and then I'll show. But before the ending, I will show the 2 bonus content.
That
basically.
reminds me also, you said that we had to get through a dungeon to go through that. Was that the area we were in after Dolce's fight?
No, there was a completely different thing. I took this time to showcase the end of her side quest.
You know, that is another
the
thing.
time that
Oh, wait.
we spent in that pointless dungeon that Theo mentioned that he couldn't record, that would have been better spent in showing how the hell we got to that place.
You know,
Just saying.
yeah, you know, that's another good point. It's like, well, you know, with the environment that we were in with that fortune teller, it doesn't look that different from the environment that we teleported to. So yeah, I guess that dungeon kind of is pointless because it's not even that much a change of environment. Now I know.
Again, I'm honestly thinking it's a problem of 2 things: rush time and cut content in between. It doesn't make this. Hold on, Jova. It doesn't excuse the fact that it ruins the product on its own, just being like that. But at the very least, I can imagine what it could have been.
Here's the baffling thing.
It doesn't feel like we're nearing the end of this game, though.
Also, here's
Well,
the
you're not completely near. Sorry, Jova, give me a second. You're not completely near Shiroi, but let's just say that the fact that the things are starting to get rushed, it's gonna become more and more evident.
There's not so much that it's rushed. It doesn't feel like it's really going anywhere quickly.
For instance, right now we're actually at Mount Rock. You know, the one that we'll be building up. The fact that Forte is mining to get the mineral powder. Now we're about to get here, because this is where Crescendo and Serenade went in order to get into Forte. Why didn't they just teleported, you know, in the plains near the city is beyond me, but I guess they wanted to take the long road. But that's the thing. Mount Rock is just another dungeon at the end of it. It doesn't have anything particularly special. There are 2 cutscenes, basically the one that we had, because remember, Jazz and Crescendo worked here, and Jazz recognized the merchant that was here. Now, soon enough, we're about to get another cutscene with, well, not spoken, text cutscene with Jazz reminiscing the days of the revolt here of the miners. But at the end of the dungeon, we will actually meet finally Crescendo and Serenade to where we've been, and there's gonna be a boss fight. So, on the grand scheme of things, Mount Rock is just a location like the others to have this kind of thing. I was thinking that the game would have been a bit more consistent building up, and I think this is also another reflection of the rush nature. And yes, I know for the fact that the PS3 version managed to have other things updated during 1 year because, and you can raise the argument, well, they could have improved this as well. Here's the thing, the things they have improved are there, but at the same time they are not that much, and they managed to make the product, to me at the very least, more tolerable. Not still overall good. I will say that to give an idea for a score, Jova, they will manage to make it for a 4.5 out of 10 to a 5.5 out of 10.
So,
it's still below average, but it's not shit.
Which is funny, weren't there actually some additions that actually kind of make it seem a bit worse or more padded in some regards too, that you've mentioned?
Well, yeah, like that third encounter with Fugue, for example. To me, it's not a big deal, but like you said, and when you notice it objectively, it's filler at the end of the day. It's used to reinforce the lore of the Agogos and to show that Polka is still ill, but at the end of the day is kind of pointless. Anyway, ...
What is it, Jazz?
This is where Tenor and I parted ways.
Alright, Tenor, that guy who he was friends with, I'm guessing.
Remember it well. Tide had turned against us, and retreat was our only option. I thought we'd be safe if we could just make it to Baroque.
Tenor, yeah, he was
such a
great buddy.
No sooner had we crossed the border than Forte's army came pouring rift after us. Basically, it's just a name for one of Jaz's friends that are part of a mining revolt. Finally made to this cave. This is a spot where those of us remained, band together.
Oh, that's right. The whole revolution started from a mining
revolt. Having made up my mind to fight to death, we weren't easy words for me to hear. I felt as if I was being torn apart.
This is the first time we've heard of Tenor, I think.
Second, but in order to carry out Tenor's wish, Wes and I turned our backs to the blood and sand and led the mountain behind. That's the thing, Jova. It's mentioning basically of what it can be considered throwaway lines. So.
Also, wait, Bass.
Yeah.
Wasn't one of Dolce's backup guys also called
it's basically a breaking of the one Steve limit trope. There are multiple people with same names in the world.
Okay. Not to say that automatically takes weight away, but this is supposed to be apparently a heartbreaking scene or something where he's talking about past friends. Yet one of his friends, literally Bass, is the same name as one of the bumbling pirates for the comedy scenes. You know, maybe there could have been some foresight in that. God, I feel like
but basically, this serves to show why Jazz decided to found Anantino. Which also reminds me of another thing. Don't worry, the rest of the scene is just like I mentioned. Hold on. I honestly think, you know, that off-screen things that happened between the chapter with after the chapter of Polka in Baroque and the chapter where everyone gets reunited. You know, the off-screen stuff like Falsetto leaving on their own. Jazz going to Baroque on its own, the other party members going on their own stuff. I'm honestly thinking there was supposed to be something there that was cut.
It's like with the Mirror Dungeon.
Hold on. Something that, for example, amongst other things, kind of destroys the rebel movement of Andantino. Because keep in mind, the Andantino rebel movement and what they're doing is basically gone. We don't know any. We can still visit the base right now, but we're not really that mentioned that much. So I'm thinking that in our original script, it was supposed to be basic. There was supposed to be something like maybe a follow-up to that skit with the 3 soldiers wanting to desert, and they basically just couldn't, and they. I honestly think the more I spend time on this game, the more I'm thinking that a lot of stuff, even if they had a trouble development, a lot of stuff had to be reworked somehow. Which is not the first time that happens in a Namco Bandai property. A couple of Tales of games and practically the entire Dark Souls trilogy are chained by this kind of thing.
And I guess we're done with the mine. So, let me get this.
Hold on, Jova. Now it's finally time to meet, to catch up with Crescendo and Serenade, and you see, after that portal is the city of Forte, basically.
Yes.
Well, no wonder we've been able to catch up with them. They keep pausing to monologue.
From this point on, we should
keep
be
in mind,
especially
Jova,
careful
this
not
is
to
one of the
reveal
major points that was reworked in the game. And I'll mention specifically when it happens.
What, were they? Oh, let me guess. In the original one, we never hear from them again after they run away.
No. Well, yeah, kinda. I don't even remember what happens to them. After this, instead, they become playable again in the party.
I assumed we'd at least
they're
make it
playable.
to Forte first.
Joy!
I'm glad we caught up with you in time.
With these two.
To be fair, they have decent attacks and gameplay-wise. They have some, utility.
Alright.
Princess, how could you leave without telling anyone in Baroque Castle? There are a lot of people there who are really worried about you.
I know this seems reckless.
That's because it is.
Circumstances called for decisive action.
You know,
we must
I'm
avoid
sorry.
A pointless
the Mirror
war.
Dungeon makes this worse because, if anything,
the
the Mirror Dungeon had all those flashbacks from the past that showed that trying to just talk to your enemies in war did not work.
This is Waltz we're talking about.
Yeah, wasn't the Mirror Dungeon supposed to tell Crescendo that what he's doing is stupid?
Maybe not. But if I were to speak with him, I believe he would spare the prince.
So,
Riti, you're so wrong.
So, Tio, I have to wonder, was there any point to the Mirror Dungeon?
After all the things
Kinda. The game tries to make Crescendo's situation more sympathetic to the player. The problem is that his future action, like you said, just makes it not working properly.
I seriously doubt he'll ever let you set foot in Baroque
from the Mirror Dungeon.
And when Baroque has been thrown into chaos after losing its prince, Waltz will still
Yeah,
invade.
basically Crescendo,
They're
you
right.
don't go
You
big
can't
time.
abandon
Heck,
Baroque
anarchy is
now.
one of the best ways to make a civilization that's ripe for the picking.
Unfortunately, since we kind of need to, you know, skip things up, Waltz has decided to meet us here instead of at the castle.
How freaking convenient.
With an army of dragons.
Which I guess are
They're
a
already
thing?
invading?
Yeah.
What do you mean they're already invading? They're clearly intercepting you.
Okay.
There are so many of them.
Damn it.
Line.
All of you, stand by in the skies overhead. Legato.
I guess the dragons just listen to him since no
Yes,
one
my
is really riding those other dragons.
Yeah, basically they just want to command. Basically, both Count
Even if
Waltz
we tried
and
to fight a force
Legato,
that
his
size,
main
we'd have no chance of defeating them.
butler,
And after
kind of
they
like, are
finished us
basically
off,
coming down
They'll
to
just continue on to
quote
conquer the rest
negotiate.
of Baroque.
What can we do, Jazz?
All we can do is pretend to listen to their demands. That may buy us some time.
To do what?
I guess we'll see. It's not like they're just trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Line. Oh,
It would have been terribly rude of me to make you come all the way to Forte.
actually, no, that would have been a bit nicer for the game.
So I thought I'd
Again,
come
we'll
meet you
never set
halfway.
foot in the throne room of Forte.
So let me
That's a
guess.
crime.
Let me guess. In the original ending, Crescendo and Serenade got killed because of this
Count
stupidity.
Waltz.
I
As a
don't think so,
representative
but
of
I haven't
Baroque,
seen it in a
I
long
assure
time, so
you
I
that
don't
we've no
remember.
desire for
Don't worry, I'll
bloodshed.
tell you when the
I
cutscene
came all this way
changes.
because I'd hoped I'd be able to negotiate with you. I don't want to make
At
the
least for the
people of my
major stuff.
kingdom suffer under the fear of war any longer.
You were
You
doing it all
seem to be a
wrong.
noble prince who cares for his subjects.
I guess.
However, I'm
Hold
afraid
on.
we cannot give you any response without some kind of guarantee from your
It's
side.
like those
I'm
job
sure
interviews.
you
We will let you
understand.
know.
I'm turning myself over to Forte. If that is not enough for you, Baroque is prepared to consider terms for surrender to Forte as well.
Such
So,
idiocy.
let
In
me see the logic
exchange, I
here.
ask for assurance
If-
that you
Look
will
at-
not harm Princess
I-
Serenade, these
So,
people
let me
here,
see if
or
I-
the
let me
citizens
recap
of
that.
Baroque in any
I,
way.
the leader of this
Above
powerful
all
nation,
else,
surrender myself
want
to
to
you.
prevent the
But if
killing
you,
of
the
innocent
enemy
civilians in
of
needless
us in war,
conflict.
think that's not enough, then we will try and accommodate even further than me, the ruler of said nation, turning myself
mean-
It's
over
like,
to
I know
you.
you've killed a bunch of people, but I have so much
and-
reason to believe that you'll keep
Not
these
only
people
that,
alive.
he's also using Minion power to turn his own subject into monsters for his own gain.
I am so close to swearing right
And
now.
I
This
was
game is
fully
really
aware that
ticking
by
me off.
doing
But
this,
seriously,
Like, how
sending my
good is
support to
she?
you
I have
and
to
to
ask,
Forte.
how good is she?
okay, forget how good she is.
all,
When did he lose
I
his
believed I was
brain? Like,
following the
what do
correct
you
path,
think the other
because I
nation is
thought it
gonna
was the
want
best
if
way
their
to
king
prevent
surrendering
war.
isn't enough for them? Gee, money?
Eventually, though,
No,
I
they
realized
want the
something.
land. Well,
A
the money
stalemate
along
is
with
not a
that.
And
solution.
remember, guys,
Standing
again,
still
it's
does not
even
solve
worse in the
anything.
360 version.
No, I'm sorry to you.
For
This may
things
be
to
even worse than the
change,
PS3
one
version
side
because
needs
this is
to take a
literally
step
history
back.
repeating itself.
And so
After
you're
Crescendo
saying
got a first,
Baroque
well,
has
maybe
taken
not
a
first
step
hand, but
back?
second-hand lesson from the mirror on this
requires much
stuff.
more
This
courage
is
to
pretty
take a
much
step
like
back
it.
than it
Forte
does to
trying
take
to
a step
conquer for
forward.
land and
Would you
whatnot.
not agree? After
What?
all, there is no guarantee that there will be ground to stand
Are they
upon.
trying to salvage Serenade by
Count
suggesting that
Waltz,
it wasn't part
please
of the
negotiate
deal?
with Baroque, and then
Yeah,
perhaps we can
kinda.
step forward together in peace.
So, Serenade had
It should
only
be
the
clear
truest
to
of
all
intentions when
concerned
she was a
that
spy.
continuing with this mutual animosity
Actually, was she
benefits
originally
no
a
one
citizen
in
of
the end.
Forte who later became
Yes.
princess?
Remember, the purple eyes are a clue.
But you see, any threat posed
But that's the
by
thing,
Baroque
Right.
is no longer a
Count Waltz
concern.
just doesn't care.
Wait. Everyone in Forte
And I
has
have even
purple
less
eyes?
interest in Baroque's simpering
Well, the
peace.
nobility, yeah.
That's weird and
The only
random.
thing we're interested
Because
in now is
Waltz
that
only
girl.
cares now about Polka, as it was established
So it's not like
when
we
it
have-
spoke to Rondo.
So, does Waltz even care about the war? Like,
Not anymore,
No,
apparently.
that's the thing. He's so convinced about his superior
So
power
if you'd
that he
kindly
doesn't
turn
care
her
what
over to
Baroque
us.
does.
You know,
I
at
will
least when
guarantee
Waltz
the
started off
safety of
Mr.
Prince
Roomplot, it
Crescendo
looked like
and
he had a focus.
Serenade.
Now this is just, I don't even know
And
what
of
I'm
course,
doing.
we promise to treat the young lady with
No,
the
no, no. Well,
utmost
he has
care
now a
and
plan. Again,
civility.
he needs Polka again for the whole
Don't think
glowing
for
a
a
go-go
minute that I'm
thing.
gonna
He
fall
needs
for
the
that
glowing a
kind of
go-go's to
sweet
make
talk
the
again.
mineral powder more effective in order to make his soldier army
Oh,
more
but it is
effective.
very
So
important
essentially
to
it's
us
just a
that this
super
young
soldier
lady
program
remain in
he's trying to
only
do.
the best of
Yeah.
health. We have no
Question.
intention of making a
We,
prisoner
the
of
heroes,
her.
have shown that
We'll
you can
make
pretty
sure
much
she
beat a
lives
monster.
the rest of her life
What is making
in
them stronger
comfort.
really gonna do?
Oh, don't worry.
You see,
Trevor.
all
We're
of us
we're
want the
gonna
same
kind of
thing.
go
So,
to that
what is your
what you just
decision?
asked.
God forbid he tested out on Legato,
You're
the
not
guy who's
really
been the
after me,
most
though. Isn't that
loyal
right?
to him.
You just want to get the glowing
Just to show that he's
go-go's.
bad.
Yeah, we figured out what you guys were up to a long time ago.
Did you really?
You might.
There's no way.
Yeah,
I
well,
can
why
do.
did you only speak up now?
Besides,
Sorry.
Eternal
I already
stupidity.
know what it is I have to do. I know what to do.
It just
to
goes
really
round
help
and round and
everyone.
round.
You know,
people don't
I
quite
hate to say
understand
this.
the
I've not seen
situation.
enough of these two
Do you
kingdoms to know how
honestly
much I
think you
should
have
care
any
about
say
whether or
in
not
the
this
matter?
war's won. Heck, for all I know, Waltz is secretly the good guy in
unfortunate.
all this.
And just as I was going to respond to Prince Crescendo's little bid for peaceful
Totally.
negotiations,
You were totally going to do that.
you
Oh, yeah,
hand
like,
the girl
he's so
over to me
sincere about it.
immediately, because I'm afraid that if you don't, you're dead.
Nice.
Eh? What suggests
I'm
that we're
evil,
dead?
I'm evil.
Polka!
I'm sorry, no. We have beaten plenty of bad guys before.
been
What
easier
makes
if
him
you
so...
Actually,
just
Jova,
done
we're
as I
gonna point
asked
that
from the
out,
beginning.
kinda.
No, Polka, don't do it. Don't go with them.
No, Polka, don't!
Already did that.
Oh, no! It
Yeah, these
shoved
cuts to
itself
black
at
are
him?
so weird for this cutscene.
It shoved
Young
itself
man,
at him
please
and he
refrain
passed
from
out?
doing anything foolish.
It was
Yeah,
the air current because big thing moving.
Unless,
Yeah,
of
but the way the
course,
dragon moved,
you
it
would
didn't
rather
flap
throw
its
away
wings,
the
it just
historic peace that
nosed
has
at him.
finally been achieved.
And he's gonna help Algredo up?
No, it's just, it's a hand gesture, Jova.
You know, I wish Legato was the main villain. At least he's charismatic about it. I mean, sure, Waltz is voiced by Liam O'Brien, but Waltz is just a stereotypical I'm crazy and all that. Like,
Oh, don't worry, Jova. That's what the PS3 version is for. They made most of the changes went on his character. Actually.
wait, you're telling me he was even lamer in the 360
I'll
version?
tell you in a second, Jova. Don't worry.
Alright. Wait, did they have an Agogo with them, or has the
Yeah,
Agogo...
they had it and we're just testing if it grows.
I recognize that light.
Weird.
And now let's see if it works for the mineral powder.
So when did they get that Agogo? Because wasn't that Fugue's mission?
No, Fugue was to investigate the glowing ones.
Oh, right, because those are special...
And apparently
My
it
lord,
works.
It is just as you surmised.
Personal space. Ow.
Wow, what
Now
a dick.
here's what happens. In your Xbox 360 version, he just attacks the
Legato,
party.
take the
You
girl
beat
and
it,
get out
he
of
drops
here.
dead. No ifs nor whats.
Why?
So instead, we decide to rework this cutscene and do something different.
So does he even use
Well,
his
now,
dragon
since
Hold
I
on.
army?
have the girl,
Yep,
I
he's
suppose
about
I no
to.
longer
Oh,
have any
snap.
use for the rest of you, do I?
Dragons, attack!
Tear them all to pieces.
Okay, that's what I guess.
Your attack won't
However,
work against us,
Sauce and March
because
kinda have
we are
some
under
sort
the
of plan.
protection of the glowing
Oh, but let me
Agogos.
guess.
Bluffing.
Wait, what? Oh.
Do you really think you can fool me with a ridiculous lie like that?
I don't know, you seem
If
random
you
enough.
think I'm lying, that's your choice.
But yeah, that's a good point.
But
Doesn't
keep in
he
mind
want
that
the
you're
glowing
speaking to a
Agogo since
guardian of
that was
Agogo
part of the
Forest.
plan?
So you might not want to take my words quite so lightly. March, hold on. What are you doing? Don't you agree, Sosa?
Wink, wink.
Yeah, that's right. After all, nobody knows more about the
I don't know
Agogos
what's
than
worse.
the two of us.
If you know they are this terrible at this,
Yeah,
or
he's
if
not
Waltz
buying
actually
it
falls
in the
for it.
slightest.
How sure are you that we're not telling you the truth?
However, there is a
Have
good
you already
point
forgotten
that
how
they
easily
defeated
we
all of his
defeated all the
henchmen so
precious
far,
little henchmen you
so...
sent after us?
They're actually addressing gameplay.
Lord
Interesting.
Waltz, perhaps it would be prudent to listen to what they're saying.
You know, Legato has a point. If
Don't
they're
be such
lying,
a
then
fool,
surely they should be able to
Legato.
blast
Yeah,
them
Waltz
anyway.
is still not buying it.
Though
Yeah.
it is true we haven't received any reports from Tuba, Fugue, or even Rondo. Not since their
Oh, so
respective
only
encounters
now
with you
you're
people.
worried about that.
You see,
No,
what
it's
more
just
proof do you
basically
need?
summing up.
There's
It's
no
for the
way
sake of,
anybody
you
out
know.
there can beat us.
That's what
So,
happened.
so he said
Doesn't
there's,
care.
Protection
so
of
he's
the
ne-
glowing Agogos.
so he said that there's no point in listening, even though he's now mulling it over. Or,
How amusing. You people really are hilarious. All right.
Why did
let's
you
see
say
how
it
well
like
your
that?
and
glowing
now he's gonna
guardians
fight us
protect you.
himself?
If those bumbling idiots couldn't manage it, then why don't we see what I can
Don't worry,
do?
Jova doesn't drop that after this, so we're going somewhere.
It's
He also gets his own personal battle theme, and this is another one of your reality checks because Waltz is fast and extremely powerful, and it's also a very small target, so good luck.
So I guess Waltz is more powerful than the dragons in story, I guess.
The dragon is just there to give another target for you to worry about. It's a flunky boss.
I get that. My question is like, well, in story, is Waltz more
Yes,
powerful than the
yes,
dragons?
he is. He just wanted to use his army before doing this.
To answer
So,
your question from Shiroi, my guess is she's one of those chicks who's actually went through all of the kinky shit, and I mean all of it. That's the only theory, the only plausible theory I can muster.
okay, Tia, so describe to me how this originally went, unless there's some spoilers involved after the boss fight.
after he slaps Polka, Waltz is like, oh, and now I'm gonna have some enjoyment with you, and he literally just attacks. You fight it, no dialogue, he just drops dead. And we will see what happens in an altered way at the end of his fight. So basically, Waltz has no payoff, no conclusion to his character. So that's most of the changes that happen in the PS3 version to basically reinforce his status as a villain
Which is
and to actually go somewhere with this. Don't worry, Jova, we'll get to it. For starters, like I said, he doesn't drop dead after the fight.
I guess that's fine, but now we've shown that we can kick his butt, so...
Count
Dogpile
Waltz.
him?
Hold on.
This is impossible. How can I possibly lose in battle to the likes of you?
Because we're
You've had
musical
things your way
heroes.
quite long enough. It ends here.
Yeah. Stab him?
I don't think so. I'm not ready to admit defeat quite yet.
Stab him?
Legato!
Stab him?
What would you like me to do, my lord?
Kill him?
Arrow
Drink
him?
all of that
Do
medicine.
anything?
Now, in the 360 version, when Waltz drops dead, Legato is like, oh, I guess I have no choice, and just drinks the
not a
whole thing.
request,
Here,
Legato.
Waltz is just
Do it.
ordering him to do
Or
it.
do you
So let me
intend
guess,
to
because
disobey
it
me?
doesn't have the glowing Agogo stuff, it's gonna be... Well, honestly,
Drink
it
it.
mutates anyway, so...
Alright,
Now I'll turn into
chug
Mr.
away.
Hyde.
Wow, Legato really is loyal to Waltz. Why?
Yeah, loyal to the end.
Here's my question. Why? Like, I mean, what reason does he have to do this for Waltz?
He fears that he's gonna be killed anyway, so...
It's not like he could, you know, just change sides to clearly the nicer people.
So let's see what happens to him.
Do we actually get a detailed transformation, or is it just, of course, he's shrouded in shadow and... Oh!
He becomes the ultimate weapon. Not even kidding.
Okay, that actually seems like it has some body horror.
So yeah, now that's a bigger threat. Sadly, unlike in the 360 version, now you have also have Waltz to count among these.
Oh, Waltz is gonna fight alongside him too?
Not now. For now he's gonna try, but we'll see what happens.
Show me what you can do.
That said, though.
So here's a stupid thing. For a testing his own new power, Legato is gonna basically vaporize the entire Dragon army.
Technically better than the 360 version. I have to tell
Keep in
myself
mind,
that.
he does. That's the thing. That's the thing. Keep in mind, Jova. Now that Waltz says that, he doesn't need an army anymore.
Oh yeah, but typical. Just because I have you, I don't need an army. Yeah, that's usually the downfall villains have when they forget, you know, their team.
The big problem, to add what Jova was saying, the big problem is that the only way to properly, quote-unquote, fix this is to just start from scratch, because this plot is flawed by the very concept, from the very concept stage. Like, you can polish a turd, it's still a turd.
It's not just that. There are so many ways they could have done about improving. The problem with that scene was like, well, the only reason Waltz gets the chance to tell Legato what to do is because nobody stabs him. But okay, maybe the fact that they didn't stab him, that should have given Legato more reason. Yeah, that's the thing. Legato was shaping up to be a better character, but okay, we need a reason for his loyalty. And it can't just be, oh, I follow the orders. Because when it comes to war, a lot of times second-in-commands realize the benefits of, you know, surrender.
Basically, it turns out that the protection of the glowing Agozo was actually a fear.
So, again, I ask, all Agogos glow, what? So
don't worry, Jova, they don't get killed like that.
Fair enough, but my question is this.
This transition into the last chapter. Here.
That was an awkward chapter.
So again, if all Agogos glow, what, do glowing Agogos just glow more?
No, not all Agogos can glow, but it's the thing.
Okay?
It's not like some of them can glow more than the others. It's like Legato already had one in his possession, and we were just testing if he'd actually glow in presence of Polka. That's it. Anyway, turns out that, Legato and Waltz basically opened the portal and ran away. Trust me when I say this, this is only the first sign of the fact that now that we gain territory, the game kinda gives up on a lot of things.
So, is this what happened in the 360 version?
Yeah, in the 360 version, Legato drinks the potion anyway after he sees Waltz being dead, and basically acts on instinct. Here instead is just ordered by Waltz himself.
So does this also happen in the 360 version? Except,
yes,
you know, he drinks the potion and then because he can't control himself, he causes this, or do the Agogos still... Or do the Agogos still protect the heroes?
No, the Agogos still protect the heroes, and then these portal thing happens.
So essentially, Legato becomes the main bad guy at that point.
Yes, basically.
Right, March?
I guess this is technically better than the 360 version, but it still is stupid how they allowed this to happen.
I'll ask you, Jova, to reserve your judgment later because we're gonna get another big moment with Waltz and we'll finally catch up with it.
Speaking of it, what about Crescendo and Serenade? You know, since now we actually
Fair
have
now, just gonna tag along with no extra dialogue whatsoever.
So you guys were just bluffing.
What was the point?
That's not very nice.
Having someone else playable.
And again, I mean, you know, if they died in the 360 version, well, they kind of got.
I don't think they die, but I think they just like go back to Baroque or something.
Oh, so they're just somewhere off screen, even though we find Forte before they do. Wait, wouldn't that imply that they actually go all the way to Forte while
No. Now here, I mean, I'm talking on this moment. If I don't remember correctly what happens in the 360 version. But the closest thing I can remember is like they go all the way back to Baroque.
Oh, nothing.
But basically now the team has basically a collective moment, and they're not gonna follow Waltz and Legato turn into a beast into the portal, wherever it may lead.
There's no telling what terrible things they'll do if those two are
so
left to
Polka
roam
apparently
free.
is tied into this. So why do we have to chase him after Waltz and Legato?
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
We need to. Well, that's the thing. As soon as they will recover from what happened, we're gonna try to destroy the world again.
And apparently, them
Now
being
Waltz has that
magicked away is
incredible
causing
power at his
the world to
disposal.
fall apart.
This isn't just
Well, that's
between
that's
nations
the thing.
anymore.
As Jess is pointing out,
It's gone
it's the
beyond
fact that
war.
we need to take away this menace before it
Waltz
actually
will bring
ends
about
the
the
fucking
destruction of
world.
the
So
entire
Waltz
world.
is actively doing this, even though the Agogos just put him in a pocket.
They have to do it.
No, it's not the Agogos that did it. It was Legato who opened the portal.
Oh,
It's
so
gotta be
the
somewhere on
Agogos
the
just
other
scared
side of
them
this
off
hole,
then.
don't you think?
Yeah, kinda.
Probably.
So
But we're not exactly ready for a fight.
were the Agogo's actually gonna hurt them,
we
or
need to
did
do
the
some
light
side
just...
quests and grind someone.
Actually, no, we're just gonna follow.
So, okay, I don't mean to nitpick, but were the Agogo... Okay, if Legato and Waltz... I keep getting this mixed up with Forte. If Legato and Waltz had, stood their ground, would the Agogos have just flashed on them and that would have been it?
Yeah, similar to how the Mother ate Fugue.
Oh,
also, nice shot of nice shot of Viola's boobs coming into screen right in front of Gallagher's face there.
Notice my directing.
Also, I'm sorry, it's like you said, Theo, this really came the frick out of nowhere. Like, oh, now all of a sudden...
Don't worry, it gets even worse.
Oh, wait, let me guess. We have to resurrect Clave in there too along the way.
That's it's optional.
My guess, Joe, is that these changes on the PS3 version, again, like I said, Bob only came into this game's development very late, like too late to save it. So my guess is this probably is his last minute effort to try to somehow fix some things.
I think the problem is
as best as he can, because if this was made from the ground up under his supervision, this would have turned out a much better game.
Well, I'm sorry, but Michael, if these are his attempts to fix, they seem really stupid.
Well, Jova, here's the thing. There's only so much he can do when he can only, like, change 10% of the plot.
Jova, you also kind of really need the context. Like, as a person who has seen the differences between the original version and this one, you really feel them.
I'm not talking about how much he tried to change. I'm talking about the actual execution. Like I said, the attitude with Waltz is stupid in and of itself because a lot of the time the heroes just let Waltz do this or that. I'm not talking about the fact that there's not that much change. I'm talking strictly about the execution. Like again, the mirror as well. The execution of that is stupid because it doesn't even matter in the great context of things.
Well, I can tell you that Tales of Graces and Zelia don't have this problem. So there's that. Neither does Berseria.
I can believe that, he improved. And, like you said, look, who knows? Maybe it was just because he was brought in at this last minute that his efforts to try and do stuff were clumsy. I mean, honestly, I probably would have done some stupid stuff trying to salvage this plot. Again, it's not the worst thing, but there's so much of a mess.
It has to do with a lack of time, obviously. Like when you have such little time to somehow salvage this boat that's clearly sinking, and there's nothing about it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how
it
doesn't matter how much you throw water away with the bucket. The ship is still gonna sink. Like,
yeah.
But so these changes are basically Baba picking up a bucket and trying his best to throw the water out of the ship, but the ship is still sinking.
Yeah,
it's sad because he's trying his best to throw the water out, but the ship just keeps sinking.
It's like I said at the start of this playthrough. Despite the long cutscenes, this game opened up rather promising with the concept. Venturing through the mind, and yeah, that's another thing. It's clearly his mind, but whatever. Going through the mind of a tortured and dying musician, while also getting trivia about him. There was merit to the idea. Sadly, though, they kind of tripped on that. And speaking of which, okay, I'm sorry, game, but you pretty much have given up on the whole mystery behind whether or not this is Frederick's head, because, let's be quite honest, from the get-go, whose head would it be, if not his? Like, I mean, we literally see him dying and everything. So what would be the point of this world not being in his head, unless it's the afterlife, which they clearly are not even hinting at, so... Yeah. What's the point of the mystery?
Like I said, the only way to properly fix this was just to start from scratch. The very foundations of the plot is based upon are inherently flawed. You need to throw all out and start all over from scratch.
Either start from scratch, or they needed to add on much more than they did. Because that's the thing. There are some additions, but like Tio himself has mentioned, there's not that much, and it hurts that there's not that much where it would matter either. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Dolce, but let's see, do we waste dev time on giving her a final fight and not even having her join the party? Sure, why not? Not like there's any other story elements.
Actually, no, Jova, that was a thing also in the 360 version. It's only exclusive to Encore mode.
Alright, so we're trying this out though. See you for the next part.
I'll keep continuing mentioning this in the following part. So for now, see you for the next.
See ya.
See ya.